I'm KCook. I'm a graduate student at Grand Canyon University. I'm currently studying Cultural Instructional Methods in Higher Education. I'm a high school English teacher and head of the English department of my school. I will graduate in October with a master's degree in English with a concentration in education. I've been an educator for over 15 years. Today I would like to talk to you about effective communication in higher education. Let's talk about 3 strategies that you can use to effectively communicate with adult learners. Number 1, make connections and build rapport. In her 2010 study, Weimer suggested that building rapport is essential to student success. She posits that building rapport can lead to student motivation, enhanced communication, and trust. She goes on to establish 5 key points for building rapport with students. Number 1, establish respect between the learner, the student, and the learning process. Number 2, be approachable. Number 3, foster open communication. Number 4, care. Take a vested interest in your students in the classroom and beyond. And number 5, have a positive attitude. Students will match your energy, so be positive. The second method for building effective communication in higher education is to know your audience. Instructors need the situational awareness and flexibility to know which communication skills work in different settings and with different students. In a face-to-face classroom, instructors must be mindful of body language, be able to adjust their tone and their speech accordingly. In the online classroom, using precise language is important. Adult learners have a myriad of responsibilities outside of the classroom. Being mindful of that and valuing their time starts with being able to communicate expectations in a precise and timely manner. These practices are in line with Knoll's theory of andragogy, which asserts that adult learners are internally motivated and therefore need to understand how expectations will apply to real-life situations. In communicating in precise language about expectations, instructors are honoring their adult learners' time and outside responsibilities. The third method for building effective communication in higher education is to value all students. This starts with checking your own bias. Instructors should be cognizant of personal bias and mindful that many variables are involved in how a student's perspective is formed. Be gracious, even if you don't agree. Be proactive but gentle in providing students with new information that they might not have previously considered. Respect and value all diversity. Most importantly, as Christian educators, it is extremely important that we build bridges and not walls. Now, let's talk about some of the challenges in communication in higher education and how these challenges can be overcome. A major challenge facing instructors is how to effectively communicate in the online classroom. How should this be addressed? Well, according to Mitchell Holder, it is important to be aware of your limitations in communication in your online classroom. In a face-to-face classroom, you simply tell students what you want them to do or to know. It's a bit trickier in the online modality. First, instructors need to know the end result of what they are trying to communicate. What do you wish your students to gain from the communication? What is the importance of the communication, and what method of communication is appropriate in disseminating the message? Finally, instructors need to have a plan to assess the outcomes of communication to determine whether or not it was successful. When dealing with a diverse population of students, conflict is often inevitable. In these situations, de-escalation is the primary goal of the instructor. In an instructional video concerning the de-escalation of conflict, DFC Learn Free posits that it is important to first breathe, then listen. Hear the person speaking to you. Don't interrupt. Be empathetic and acknowledge and value the perspectives and the feelings of those involved in the conflict before presenting a solution. Often conflict arises because students have different agendas, which leads to differing opinions. Instructors must encourage civil dialogue that emphasizes finding the driving force between the two agendas. What motivates one student to think a certain way may be entirely different from what motivates the other student to think in their own unique way. According to Dillon, when you learn more about why someone has a different view and you have a chance to explain your own, you're far more likely to create solutions. Instructors must communicate to students that the goal is to find a better way forward, not to win an argument. Finally, how does effective communication support student success in the classroom? Effective communication in the classroom is a necessary element of creating classroom community. To communicate effectively, instructors must value the perspective of each student and create an environment where students feel free and safe to communicate those perspectives. It is apropos to again mention Knowles' theory of andragogy, which states that students are internally motivated and must therefore understand how the information they're learning is applicable to their lives. So it's of paramount importance that instructors are clear and concise in communicating expectations. In addition, instructors must build rapport with students by reflecting a positive attitude, being approachable, and fostering equanimity. Lastly, instructors need to be aware of differing perspectives and value those perspectives as integral to the journey of exploring and learning that will happen in each class. Thank you.